Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Sumera Kamal. The headlines first. Prime Minister will visit Washington on 22nd of this month to hold talks with the US President on bilateral relations. Pakistan and Oman have agreed to enhance cooperation in petroleum sector. Advisor to Prime Minister on Finance says IMF loan sanction will bring sustainable economic growth to the country. Hajj flight operation to transport intending pilgrims to Saudi Arabia commenced today. Chairman Kashmir Council Europe says the extension of President's rule in the occupied Kashmir cannot stop freedom struggle. Iran says it may hold talks with Washington if the US ends sanctions. And now the news in detail. Foreign Office has confirmed that Prime Minister Imran Khan will hold a meeting with the US President Donald Trump on the 22nd of this month in Washington. At his weekly news briefing in Islamabad today, Foreign Office spokesperson Dr. Mohammad Faisal said the Prime Minister is visiting Washington at the invitation of the US President. He said the agenda of the meeting is being developed through diplomatic channels. He said the focus will be to refresh bilateral relationship. Prime Minister Imran Khan has said reforms in Federal Board of Revenue are aimed at economic development of Pakistan, improving revenue collection system and encouraging the business community. Talking to Punjab Chief Minister Sardar Usman Buzdar, the federal and provincial ministers and Chairman FBR Shabbar Zaidi in Islamabad today, he said the government is fully aware of the reservations of the business community and a reform process is continuing in FBR to restore confidence of the business people so that all segments, including businessmen, can voluntarily become part of economic development. He directed government's economic team, including Chairman FBR, to hold meetings with various commerce bodies and apprise them about reforms in the economic and tax system in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has reiterated the government's commitment to make every possible effort for addressing issues of the minority communities. He was talking to a delegation of bishops led by Jamshed Thomas in Islamabad today. Issues concerning Christian community came under discussion. Oman Trading International Limited has expressed a desire to expand its footprint in Pakistan's market. An OTI delegation led by Oman Ambassador Sheikh Mohammed Al Marhoon and Mr. Said Al Mali expressed the desire during a meeting with Prime Minister's Special Assistant on Petroleum Nadeem Babar in Islamabad today. The visiting side showed keen interest in engaging with Pakistan's petroleum sector, including signing an MOU with Pakistan LNG Limited, increasing volumes of gasoline, petroleum products, and LPG. Nadeem Babar assured that visiting delegation that all steps will be taken to facilitate OTI's endeavors in the Pakistani market. Mr. Said Al-Mawali and Mr. Nadeem Babar reiterated their mutual resolve to elevate bilateral relations between both the countries. Advisor on Finance Abdul Hafiz Sheikh says IMF's loan of $6 billion will bring sustainable economic growth to the country. Addressing a news conference along with the Minister of State for Revenue Hamad Azhar and FBR Chairman Shabbar Zaidi in Islamabad today, he said no member of the IMF Executive Board opposed the loan program for Pakistan. The advisor said the approval of the extended fund facility by IMF has sent across a positive message about Pakistan, encouraging other international financial institutions to release funds to Pakistan. He said the Asian Development Bank will provide $3.4 billion additional funds. $2.1 billion of the amount will be released this year. He said the World Bank will also give additional funds to Pakistan. The advisor said these funds will be used for budgetary support. British High Commissioner Thomas Drew called on Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi in Islamabad today. Bilateral relations, security situation in the region, and other matters of mutual interest were discussed in the meeting. The two sides expressed satisfaction over the current state of bilateral relations. The foreign minister raised the matter of displaying anti-Pakistan banners and disrespectful attitude toward the Pakistan cricket team during a World Cup match between Pakistan and Afghanistan in England. He said use of stadium for anti-Pakistan propaganda is worth concerning. He said Prince William and his wife Middleton's possible visit to Pakistan this autumn is a good news, and the government and people of Pakistan welcome this announcement by Kensington Palace. Prime Minister's advisor on climate change, Malik Amin Aslam, says Imran Khan's vision of clean, green Pakistan is getting international acclaim. Talking to media in Islamabad this afternoon, he said 7.5 billion rupees have been allocated for 10 billion tree tsunami program for this year. He said the government is pursuing Prime Minister's vision of environment protection. This is Radio Pakistan. Hajj flight operation to transport intending pilgrims to Saudi Arabia commenced today. The first Hajj flight from Islamabad carrying 350 intending pilgrims under government scheme left for Medina Munawwara. At Islamabad airport, immigration and other formalities of the Hujjaj were completed under Road to Makkah project. Addressing a ceremony on the occasion, Minister for Religious Affairs Nurul Haq Qadri said Saudi rulers have special love and affection for Pakistan, and they manifested this love through Road to Makkah project. The minister said comprehensive arrangements have been made both in Makkah and Medina for the facilitation of Pakistani pilgrims. He said 25,000 to 60,000 rupees will be refunded to each Pakistani pilgrim on account of amounts saved from different expenditures in Saudi Arabia. He said Hujjaj will also be provided better accommodation, transport and food in Saudi Arabia. In his remarks on the occasion, Minister for Aviation Ghulam Sarwar Khan thanked the Saudi government for initiating Road to Makkah project for the facilitation of Pakistani pilgrims. He said Prime Minister Imran Khan himself will inaugurate this project tomorrow. He said that 22,000 Pakistani pilgrims traveling via Islamabad will benefit from this initiative. He expressed the confidence that the project will be expanded to other cities in the next phase. The chairman of Kashmir Council Europe, Ali Raza Sayed, has said that extension of president's rule by Indian government in occupied Kashmir cannot stop the Kashmiri people from carrying forward their ongoing freedom movement. In a statement issued in Brussels, Ali Raza Sayed said that imposition of president's rule for holding of sham elections for the so-called Kashmir Assembly by India in occupied Kashmir is not a solution of the Kashmir dispute. He called upon the international community to take serious notice of the prevailing grim situation of human rights in the occupied territory. Iranian Intelligence Minister Mahmoud Alavi has said Tehran and Washington could hold talks only if the United States ends its sanctions. He said it is possible in case of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei give his approval for holding talks with America. British Royal Marines seized an oil tanker in Gibraltar accused of bringing oil to Syria in violation of EU sanctions. The Grace 1 tanker was impounded in the British territory at the mouth of the Mediterranean Sea after sailing around Africa from the Gulf. Russian President Vladimir Putin will hold talks with Pope Francis in shadow of Ukraine crisis in Vatican City today. Today's meeting between the Pope and Putin will be their first since 2016. In the ICC World Cup against Afghanistan at Leeds, the West Indies are playing a short while ago. Earlier, the West Indies won the toss and opted to bat. FM 101 channel of Radio Pakistan is airing live updates of all matches during its transmission. And finally, the weather. Mainly very hot and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain, thunderstorm with gusty winds is expected at isolated places in Malakand, Hazara, Peshawar, Mardan, Kohat, Rawalpindi, Gujranwala, Lahore, Faisalabad, Sargodha divisions, Islamabad, Kashmir, and Gilgit-Baltistan. To end the news, here are some of the headlines once again. Prime Minister will visit Washington on 22nd of this month to hold talks with the US President on bilateral relations. Hajj flight operation to transport intending pilgrims to Saudi Arabia commenced today. Iran says it may hold talks with Washington if the US ends sanctions. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live streaming of our bulletin on the link facebook.com/radio Pakistan News Official.